We live?
Yep.
Okay, we're live. I know it's really late to go live, but we were feeding tonight because it's our normal feed night. As we were looking, we noticed a clutch that was just beginning to pip. You can see where the snake is trying to scrape through. So I thought, why not go live, bring it to you, and open them up. This is kind of a special clutch to us. This is our, I guess I'd call it a Maury Povich clutch. And this is why Deer handed me that snake. Deer is question girl. The question fiance now, I guess. Because this might be the daddy. Right there. I'll show that thing. That's Odin. And Odin, as you all know, is beautiful. We love Odin. And this also could be the daddy. This is the other banana. Now, we're going to show the same in babies, most likely, so maybe we'll be able to tell how much orange he has. It's kind of like a line breed thing. But we almost need to call Maury and send both these guys in to have their tested and see who was a child support, because we really don't know. And the reason we did that was when we started putting him in, because he's the one I really wanted to breed. He wasn't a real strong breeder at first. So to hedge our bets, we started mixing this guy in. He's a little older. He took to breeding easier. He did start lock with the female, started up a little bit later in the season. So we really don't know who the dad is. We put these guys both up. Before we open this up, I'll show you Mom. Mom's are really nice. Really pretty. Wants to eat my face off today. Again, it's feed day. Woo! Black Pastel. There she is. Really pretty snake. As you can see, she's put nice weight back on. And again, she's really acting up because she's thinking we're going to feed her. And we are. And after laying eggs, they're usually pretty voracious eaters once you get them back started. So, you know, we got a ton of rats in here, so the smell's everywhere. But we'll get that taken care of here in just a few. So now, without further ado, let's start some egg cutting, right, guys? You got anybody actually watching this, Kurt?
Yeah.
44 people.
44 people. All right. Well, hopefully,
2 likes already.
Hopefully, we show you something good. Here goes nothing. What we were talking about is I actually hadn't popped through yet, but you can see that where it's been slicing on the top, working its way through. We got one doing over here too. We can see the stress lines coming through. So we're just going to go ahead and save them the time. I'll do the egg I'm the most worried about first, which would be this little guy, just the one that sunk in the most. So here goes nothing. Again, a little snip. I didn't expect to have these till tomorrow, but we're going to be going out of town for most of the day. Camera guy Kurt's going to be gone. So we thought, what the hell, so let's go ahead and do them now.
Someone said those eggs are really sunken.
They do sink in close to hatching a lot of times. It's pretty normal. Our humidity set at 99%. This egg in particular sunk in more than I like, and that's usually a really bad sign, which is why I'm doing it first, because I don't have a lot of high hopes. This may be the second egg we lose this year, and it looks like it's going to be. Which tends to happen if you have an embryo not make it as well. That's why it's more sunken in than the rest. And I can usually kind of tell as soon as I touch the shell. What we'll kind of do is separate that out so we can't see what happened, what caused it. Because it's the one that's not going to make it. And you have that. Out of all of our eggs this year, this is literally only the second one we've had like this, which is too many, but that's par for the course.
Someone asked, do you ever add water during the incubation?
Yeah, we keep an eye on it. We keep seeing where it is, and we do add water. This had so much moisture in it, if I didn't prop it up with these, this was actually sinking down in. And you can see, if you show right here, Kurt, you go down just a little bit and you have standing water. So there was a ton of moisture in there. You see on a lot of people's tubs a lot of condensation. You don't see it on ours because my entire incubator sits at really high humidity. So I don't have high humidity in here, low humidity outside, causing that. We've kind of designed to get away from that, which has given us, like I say, so far, we've opened, this will make 40 eggs, I believe, for the year, or really close to it. And out of 40 eggs, we've hatched 38 live babies that are all healthy. So I don't know. I mean, it seems to be working for us. I would like to be 40 out of 40 every year, every time, but that's just not reality. These are also a first-year mama. And this shell feels better. You can feel it in the shell a lot of times. So there we have movement in there. Looking good. I can't tell you yet if it's, I think that'll probably be a black pastel, but I wouldn't swear to it. And you can see we've marked some of these with a B. Those are the ones that we're pretty sure have banana. So I have 3 that I think are banana, 2 that I didn't think did, and then that one was also banana. And you can kind of tell that when you candle them by the color. But it's far from an exact science. So,
Do eggs always sink in?
most of the time. I've seen some that don't, but a lot of times, as we're starting to use that up, they do. Especially the last 14 days, they tend to sink in a little bit. If you're sinking in way at the beginning, it's usually a sign of your moisture being way too low. And if you add moisture, not directly on the eggs in the substrate, a lot of times you can save that, but not always. And you'll never save every egg. Like, I always want 100% hatch rate. This is actually our first banana clutch, so we'll see if I'm very good at guessing. It's kind of a game I like to play. That one's banana. Actually, I think that one's a banana black pastel. Come here, buddy. See how dark that purple is? Get that light in here a little bit, dear. Thank you. We'll cut just a little more gap. I don't want to go any higher than that. See how much lavender that has? That is just beautiful. That's a big old healthy baby.
Wow, that's really pretty.
Yeah, banana black pastel is beautiful. Now, I'm not 100% sure that's what that is yet. We'll have to wait till they crawl out. But again, I don't cut the whole top off. Just a flap. That way they have an escape route if they need. And that is it. Most of these will be out within the first 48 hours. We're also well into our incubation. This is the day that, actually after midnight, it's the day that most of our eggs start to open that we've caught.
Someone asked if we used the incubator we made out of the old fridge.
Yes, that's the incubator we're using. That's one we've had such a high success rate in hatching with. Much higher than we've had in the past. Look at that. So far I'm 2 for 2 on guessing the bananas. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. Just beautiful. Look at how much lavender's in that. Oh, that's good times. That's good times. Okay, we'll open this guy here. Remember, this is one that's not marked with the B. This is the one that we're knowing is, this guy should be alive and doing well. He was trying to get out, so we'll help him out a little bit.
Can you get the light up just a little bit?
Higher.
Okay.
You know, and they hate when I move stuff, but I have to be comfortable with what I'm doing. Yep, so far we've been able to guess the bananas. But look at that, that's definitely not a normal. It's going to be a black pastel. Look how gorgeous that thing is too. Really dark, and the pattern's different. Beautiful. Let's get a little touch. Reaction's alive. Fold the flap back down. Oh, leaked out a little more moisture than I wanted. That's something I don't like doing. Happens. It was because I was paying attention while I was cutting to what I was doing and not to this, and I put a little bit of pressure, squeeze out a little bit on that egg. And guys, this is really my favorite part of seeing babies. You know, I hate losing babies in development. I just hate it. Like, the only thing that makes it okay is when you see the rest of them. So I guess this one to be banana. Here, move that light a little bit, dear. And I was right again. Look at that. Give that a little touch. Reaction. Beautiful. Beautiful. The black pastel seemed to go through there pretty well. Alright, guys. I'm fairly happy. The only reason I say fairly is, you know, I lost one, and that always puts me in kind of a bummer mood. I had more hope for this egg than the last one we lost, but anytime they seem to shrink pretty much down like that, there's usually something wrong and it's going south. And then as soon as I cut the shell, you can kind of feel it, and it's just usually a developmental issue of some sort. That it's, you know, when you have major moisture issues, whether it be the eggs getting wet or it really dry, you'll see that in the entire clutch typically, not just one egg. So as we've gone through and all of our clutches have been great except for a single egg, you know, I still want to figure out how I save that egg, and I'm going to see what I can do to figure out how to save those eggs, and there may be a way to do it. I've got some ideas I might try. The hard thing is I'm afraid to try some of my ideas because I'm afraid that trying something different I might actually harm it and give it less of a chance. So it's kind of a catch-22. Losses, well, I hate them. If I'm hatching 95% hatch rate, which is if we've hatched 38 out of 40, it's 95%, I'll take it. And I would imagine that 95 is probably better than the industry average, although I've never seen exact numbers on it. You know, I'll take 95%, but I'm going to want 100.
Someone asked if an egg doesn't sink in at all. Is it a smaller baby or just...
Actually, I've
if
had
it goes for full term?
kind of the exact opposite. Here, dear, you want to put those back in there so they stay warm? Thank you.
Is it, well, do they not soak up the yolk? Is that's why they're asking if it's because it doesn't sink in? Or?
The sinking in, I
Rats.
what's that?
We have all the rats.
Yeah, I just have to kind of work around it. What we're talking about now is question girls like the rats are in front of the fridge, so I told her to have to just work around for a second while she's taking care of that for us. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what causes the sinking in, you know. But that egg it's a support system, and it's not going to last forever, and that's the whole point of it. Those babies need to come out of that egg at a certain point, and they need to sit and absorb all that yolk. They're still taking in yolk, but if that shell stayed perfectly healthy, perfectly strong, then they wouldn't necessarily be able to get out. So the shell is going to weaken, it's going to sink in, they're going to absorb the yolk, which is going to take up some room, and it is going to go into their belly, and then they need to cut their way out and move on. The reason we open once we start to see pips, typically when we see pips, or at day 50, 58, because I incubate at 90, so they're usually coming out before then, is just to make sure they have a chance. On that one, you'll notice we didn't have a slice in the egg yet, but we looked and we could see where they were attempting to pip, so we know they were ready to go. So it's at that point we just go ahead and do it. But we typically wait till then, and then we go for it. So as far as to the exact science of it shrinking, I'd have to do some more research on that for you. You got a funny face there, question girl.
What medium do we use for the incubator, the little tubs, and then do we drill holes in them?
I don't drill holes in my tubs because humidity is king. I mean, I want 99% humidity. That's my goal. If I put holes in the tubs, it's going to lessen that. We use perlite. I like perlite a lot. It holds water beautifully. The water tends to sink to the bottom, so you get almost kind of a wet layer on top with a completely saturated layer. I then use light diffuser panel. Looks like this. Although I cut my own sizes to fit in there. I layer this up too. If it starts to sink in like quicksand, and it will do that if you have a lot of moisture, then I just put something underneath the ends of it to keep it from sinking, to give it a little structure like a little feet, and that'll keep it from doing that. And at that point, we add water if we need, and we try to keep it at 99%. We run humidity gauges in some of our tubs to kind of monitor how we're doing, and we also just kind of run it by eye and cycle those gauges through to kind of check things. So,
when do you decide to start cutting your eggs?
Typically, when they first pip, if I see a pip, I'll cut. In this case, we saw that line, those several lines where the one was scraping the top, working on cutting through, so we went ahead and opened them up. Or, like, if we get to, like, day 58, you know, then I'll start to consider pipping. I may look at a little earlier if I have, like, an egg that I think I know I can open it. Like, for example, this little guy here. We did these guys a little bit early. He still needs to eat that. And he came out of the egg at a whopping 24 grams. This is a really small egg. I mean, it was a tiny egg from a first-time mom, and, you know, we cut that one, I think. Actually, I think they'd started pipping too and we cut that, but I would have cut that one anyway pretty quick because I was afraid that baby wasn't going to be strong enough for the size of the egg. And with the birth weight, I'm pretty certain that's the case. Now, that baby's already taken food from me once. It's moving great. It's developed well. It's doing wonderful. I ain't worried about it. I'm going to make that thing survive and thrive, and it'll go to a great home at some point. So that's when I pip. Any more questions on there?
Yeah, someone asked if camera guy Kurt, owns any snakes. And yeah, I do have some in here I bought, but basically These are both mine and Matt's snakes, so we kind of share because we both own Olympus Reptiles.
Yeah, what kind of happened, the story of how that went down, if you guys are curious, is we used to have a weekly card night back when before Question Girl's time, or I started dating Question Girl, kind of came at once, and where a bunch of us would get together, play cards, and drink lots of beer. A lot of beer. And Kurt kind of gotten interested in snakes because I'd had them at the time, and so I was looking at ordering some more, and I think I won an auction, didn't I, Kurt?
Yeah, you won an auction on a calico?
Yeah, we added some more stuff into it that he wanted and kind of just shipped them all at once. So then Kurt had a couple snakes, and I told him they could just stay at my house. It wasn't a problem. I had the rack. So we were kind of doing that, and then as it grew, he got a few more, I got a bunch more. We had to do feeders. So we built rat racks. Kurt kind of invested in most of the rat rack stuff, set up a rat room for us, and we were rocking it out. And it just became clear that we were better off becoming, not trying to keep his projects and my projects and all that separate, just we're running it all together and becoming a team. I mean, camera guy Kurt's been my best friend for a really long time. He lives in my basement, so, we're together a lot. He'll be the best man at the upcoming wedding between me and Question Girl. So it was easy for us to bring that into one. And then kind of everything we do with it now, we kind of make decisions mutually. Even we took over part of the reptile shop, Manhattan Reptile World, we did that mutually. So we kind of try to do everything in lockstep and make sure we agree on what our path is. So, in other words, we don't spend money without talking to the other one on snake stuff. Anything else on there really quick?
Yeah, they asked what my favorite morphs are, and my favorite ones are Orange Dream and Clown.
This was the first snake that Kurt spent a good amount of money on. Right there. We've got her to lock up once, I think. Didn't you say you saw it once?
The male, yeah, he locked up about 3 times in a week.
So I don't know if she's going to go this year. She's now eating really good, so maybe she'll go this year. If not, she will next year. She was just right on the cusp, but she's putting on weight like a beast. We may get a late clutch out of her, we'll see. And that was locked up to another one that Kurt likes, Super Pastel Spot Nose, and also been running some Inchy through there. So that'll be a Mari Povich, or Mari, however you say his name, Povich clutch as well. But we'll be able to identify the daddy by what comes out. We're here. I honestly probably won't have any way to tell for sure. I'll have an idea, but I won't be able to tell for sure. All right, guys, before we get off of here, is there anything else that we really need to address, Kurt?
Nope.
Okay, one thing I want to tell you is keep watching for these live videos, because I anticipate one more live video this week, or maybe early next week, like Sunday, Monday time, maybe Tuesday at the latest, and it's going to be the clutch that I've been waiting on for 4 years. So please like us, subscribe to us, get ready for that, follow along. It's going to be a really important clutch for me, a really special clutch for me. For those of you that have followed us for a while, you've heard me in the videos talk about breeding what you want and breeding what you like, and talking about zebra bees being one of my goals. This is a clutch that possibly has a zebra bee. It's a 1 in 8 shot. We have 9 eggs, so it's by no means guaranteed, but this will be the first real shot I've had at those. So to say I'm excited and probably won't sleep very well with anticipation is an understatement. So I'd love to have you guys with us and either join me in, slight disappointment. As long as they're all healthy, I'll be happy. Or some exuberance of Question Girl can tell you how long I've been talking about zebra bees.
Since we got together.
Since I met her. I probably told her.
First date.
Did I tell you on the first day? I probably told her the first day, I'm going to make this zebra bee one day. And at that time, she's like, who in the hell is this guy that likes snakes? What the hell's wrong with this guy? And what she didn't tell you is she actually has her first snake now. She picked a hole back for her own projects from one of her hatchlings this year. So please join us for that. So subscribe so you can see when it comes up. Thanks a ton for watching, and we'll see you guys real soon.